Hi everybody, it's Margaret Crane Luria with the ADHD Video Club at adhdvideoclub.com. Now, what if you've done everything you can do and you're getting pushback from the school? We're not going to follow the 504 plan, and they may not say that because that would be illegal, but they're not following the 504 plan. You take it to the teacher, they're not responsive. You take it to the counselor, and they're not responsive either. Next step is to take it to the principal and to express your concerns, again, in a kind and firm way. And there are school districts in some states that are very hard-headed. And you may think that's your state, but it may very well not be your state. Some states really have a bad policy in public schools. So if the principal isn't responsive, you want to take it to the district. And there's going to be somebody at the district with the title of special services, support services, student support services, something like that. You want to make an appointment with that person and express your concerns. You may or may not want to have an advocate with you, and I'll talk about that in a second. If the district is not cooperating, this is what I would do. I would take it to a newspaper. I would take it to those troubleshooters on TV. I would make a stink, because if they're not responsive, it means they're not following the law. And that's serious. Now, what can an advocate do? Well, let me tell you about a friend of mine. Her son he was diagnosed with dyslexia. It was clear cut, and the school kept saying, no, he doesn't have dyslexia. No, he doesn't have dyslexia. No, he doesn't have dyslexia. And they had it on paper. And they brought an advocate in, I believe it was a lawyer, and he said, so he took it to another doctor who said, this is clear-cut, classic, obvious dyslexia. Took the report, the testing. And the lawyer said, well, here's the report from this doctor saying it's clear-cut. Now, if you don't do anything about it, we're going to have a lawsuit on our hands. And what do you think happened? They started doing something about it, as if it didn't happen the other way. So as if they had never said that he didn't have dyslexia. They were like, oh my gosh, we need to get on this. It's so clear that he needs help with dyslexia. And it was like, seriously? So an advocate can take a viewpoint and express a viewpoint that you might not know about, or that you might not be able to express because nothing has happened so far. I had a client where the student was supposed to have not a laptop, word processor to write things down because he had a problem with writing. And 6 months later, he still didn't have his word processor. Well, I was all on that, and in a few days he got his word processor. I've had students that are supposed to have half of the homework, but nobody takes the time to mention that. Like, oh, you only have to do this much. I've had clients that have ADD, which instead of ADHD, so there's a lot of tuning out, or it looks like they're tuning out. I would say they're actually concentrating really hard on one thing and can't hear the other things. And the teacher said, well, I reminded all the students to turn this in, and he didn't turn it in. He's on a 504 plan. And I said to the parent, here's what you need to tell the teacher. Thank you for reminding all the students, but his 504 plan says you will remind him. So you need to remind him separately from whatever else you do. So there are little nuances that it's not necessarily malice on the part of the teachers or the counselors. It could be a misunderstanding, but it's a good idea to check in. If you're not getting results, it's a good idea to check in. I find that a lot of parents are actually doing more work than they need to with the schools. That they're using more words, sending more emails because they're not exactly sure what they're asking for, and so the teacher isn't sure how to respond. So you want to be really concise, and an advocate can help you do that. Hope this helps. Take care.